Today on Hello Nintendo, we're going to be discussing the SNES Classic's launch, the shutdown of the Wii Shop Channel, the lack of friend play in FIFA 18, and more.
You used to call me on my... You used to. Yeah. You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Hey, I know when that hotline bling.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Matt, aka Trainass, and joining me again today after a ridiculous hiatus is Harrison, aka Frobro.
RIP.
And we've got a special guest with us joining today. It is N64Josh from the Nintendo Powercast Podcast. I was a guest on his and figured let's bring him on to our podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to it.
So it's been forever since we've actually had a guest or new host on our podcast. So I had to kind of go and dig up some of our questions that we usually ask people just to kind of get to know them a little bit better. So Josh, we're gonna grill you with a few questions. Are you ready?
Oh, exciting. I'm very ready. Let's do this.
So that handle, N64Josh, where did you come up, or like how did you come up with that one?
Okay, well, my first and last name is extremely common to the point that even in my hometown there's somebody with the first and last name and middle initial, and he would give me late fees at Blockbuster, so that was pretty cool.
That's not very nice.
So that wasn't working on Twitter because that just wasn't going to happen. I was in the process of starting a new blog and new podcast and needed a gaming name of some kind. And I started to get impatient, not being able to come up with something that I really, really liked. And my wife and I, when we were dating, we played a ton of the Nintendo 64, a ton of Mario Kart, GoldenEye, Turok, that kind of stuff. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go... The website was n64gaming.com. I'll be N64Josh. She was N64Jen. And it just kind of stuck. So that's that.
That's sweet. Cool. So your podcast, the Nintendo Powercast Podcast, how long have you been actually running that one?
Let's see. We're on episode 39, and we do one episode a week. So, we got a little over a half a year, basically, and it's we've had a co-host leave, and we're still friends, but he just got burned out, and so we're just going strong.
Right on. Yeah, it can get kind of exhausting after a while.
Yeah, and the poor guy, he actually was doing 2 podcasts with me, one right after another every Tuesday night. So he's like, I need a break.
Oh, jeez. So what was your earliest Nintendo system that you can remember?
Oh, the NES for sure. I'm fairly certain it was 1987, Christmas morning. Earlier that summer, I had played my cousins at my grandma's while we were supposed to be swimming, and I had played Atari up until that point. I didn't have one, just my uncle did. And I remember grabbing the controller and thinking, where's the joystick? This is odd. And then seeing this little elf-looking dude with a sword that fired bolts out of it. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And then I remember my mom like, you need to go swim. I'm like, no, I don't want to go swim. I just want to play this. Well, so that was my aunt's stepson. It was his NES that I played, and then that year at Christmas, I didn't even ask for it. I had a lot of siblings, and so I didn't even ask my parents for something that expensive. And so we did our normal Christmas morning gifts, and then my aunt and grandma and stuff came over a little bit later, and all of a sudden they set this huge box on my lap, and I remember opening it and seeing the Zapper and Mario and Duck Hunt, and I couldn't get my dad to hook that thing up fast enough that morning. And I remember almost being in tears. I was getting so frustrated I couldn't get past World 1-2 in Super Mario Brothers.
So out of all the Nintendo systems, everyone that's been released, what would you say your favorite Nintendo game has been?
Oh my gosh, dude, that's such a tough question to pick one.
I know.
You know, it's not going to matter what I say. I'm going to end up being like, oh, I should have said this one. But probably the game that I feel like I have the most fun with. I mean, it's obvious. It's spawned. There's 8 games in the series now, but Mario Kart 64 was probably one of. It's really a toss-up between like Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye, like that, and Perfect Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Those were just like that was like prime time gaming. But I mean, I obviously love the Mario games. I love Animal Crossing. If my DS, the most time played on any game, Animal Crossing, you know, like 300 hours or something. So, probably Mario Kart. I think 64. It's so tough. 8 is amazing. Mm-hmm. So it's tough. I hate saying something new, because I have so many fond memories of the older games, but so I'm going to say 64, but I may end up grabbing 8 instead. We'll just see.
That's awesome. Nice. So we're going to go into a little bit of what we've been playing. Harrison, we haven't really talked to you much. What have you been playing in the last little while?
Well, again, I've been crazy busy, like, for a couple months now with other things, and I haven't really had time to play video games, but I kind of got overhyped off of the Atlas USA's marketing for Etrian Odyssey 5, and I don't know, I saw the trailer and I was like, I gotta go play Etrian Odyssey right now, but the game doesn't come out for, at the time of recording this, a little while. So I've been playing Etrian Odyssey Untold. You know, it's better than watching YouTube trailers until it comes out. And then my next game probably won't even be Etrian 5 because Lady Layton comes out. And the real question is, am I going to play it on my phone or my DS?
I say go for your DS. Should be a better experience.
See, there's pros and cons, because if I get it on the DS, I get to support my boy Nintendo, right? But if I get it on my phone, I'll always have it on me, and it might even be cheaper to do that.
Yeah, but then you've got to play a game on your phone.
Yeah, but I want to stress that I have a very nice phone,
but it's
right?
Still a phone.
I'm not gonna shield my phone on you, but my phone is very nice and very expensive. And I would not mind playing games on this.
I've never been a fan.
Unless your phone can grow a D-pad,
yeah,
I suggest playing it on the DS.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's Professor Layton, dude. I don't need a D-pad to play Professor Layton.
I don't know.
In fact, the whole game's touchscreen based.
That ain't right.
But Layton games are all touchscreen based. You don't need buttons.
You always need buttons. This is the problem.
And then Frobro goes missing again for a couple more months.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Play on your phone. It's okay.
Well, that sounds cool. Josh, what about you? What games have you been playing the last little while?
Oh man, I've been playing a lot actually. I've been trying to keep up with the Switch library and keep reviews going out, on my YouTube channel and stuff. Last weekend was all 3 of the retail releases: Dragon Ball, Lego Ninjago, which was actually, both of those they surprised me at how much fun they were. And then of course Pokken. I picked up FIFA, but I haven't opened it yet. So
funny you should mention
that'll be later today probably. I'll put it in real quick while you guys are talking and get a little time in with it. I've been playing Metroid, Samus Returns, and just absolutely loving that. So kind of my free time between doing review stuff, I'm grabbing Samus and just working my way through that, and I'm just kind of taking my time. It's actually really nice that I can pick that up and play it for 10 minutes and make a little progress, and then put it down and come back a little later.
Yeah, I've been hearing lots of really great things about it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it really just feels like an evolution of Super Metroid, and I've talked to a few people that it didn't grab them like they were hoping it would. There wasn't enough difference in the experience. But I mean, I remember I borrowed Samus Returns on the Game Boy, and I had to borrow a Game Boy when I was a kid because I didn't have one, and got up to one last Metroid and had to give everything back before I could complete it. And so this time I'm righting those wrongs. But I mean, I feel like I knew what to expect with that game, and so it it's exceeding my expectations, which is great.
Nice. So for me, I picked up Sonic Mania, SteamWorld Dig 2. What else did I grab? Is it Octopath? I got the demo for that, so I started playing that because I need an RPG on my Switch. So I've been playing Sonic Mania is awesome. I think it's just as good as everybody's been saying it has. And Brooks, one of our other mods and hosts, he kind of helped convince me to get it. So I've been playing a lot of that. And I've been playing a fair bit of Star Fox 2 on my SNES Classic, which is surprisingly an awesome game. Like visually, I'm actually surprised, and the thing's because of that FX chip, but visually it looks awesome.
Wait! They emulate the FX chip? Like, how do they do that?
I don't know. I think it's got to be. Yeah,
we'll talk about it later.
On the system.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I've been playing Star Fox.
There's a small wizard inside each one.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keeping the magic alive.
Yeah, so Star Fox 2, I've been playing that, and that's actually, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a different game from the first Star Fox, and it kind of feels like, what was that Star Fox game that was on the DS? Star Fox Command? Yeah, so there's a little bit when I was playing, like even like the galaxy map and everything kind of felt a little bit, or like how Star Fox Command was. So, and then Overwatch on my Xbox One. Still plugging away at that. So.
Attaboy.
Yeah, I got myself a new headset yesterday, so because I'm starting to stream more, so I think that should be good.
Oh, sweet, man. Good for you.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna dive into our news topics.
Our first topic is that the Wii Shop, it will be closing. It's obviously both accessible from the old Wiis and Wii U's through the VWii, and it goes down, what is it, like January 2019? So we got a while out, but I mean, that date's going to creep up on us, so what do you think about it, Trinas?
I don't know, I haven't even played the Virtual Wii on my Wii U in forever, so it doesn't really affect me. I guess like I've already downloaded. I've got all the stuff that I purchased is already on my system, so that's not that big of a deal. Like as of end of March of next year, you can't add any more points, and so then I figured then from end of March to the end of January 2019, that's just to make sure you can grab all your downloads. And then after that, they're gone forever. So it's understandable. They're gonna have to eventually shut down stuff for their old, the old systems. So the one thing I will miss is the download animation. It's the whole with Mario and everybody, and they're hitting the blocks to get
blocks.
I'm gonna kind of miss that a little bit. I always like that. So it'd be kind of nice, and it probably never happened. But if Nintendo were to bring that to the Switch as like a random download, would all of a sudden play that animation or something.
I mean, it's one of those things. I have a fairly vast library on that on the Wii. It's on my Wii U because I transferred all the data over. But there are a few games that like Gunstar Heroes and stuff like that I would hate to see. Like if my Wii U gives up the ghost and I can't go and get that again, it'd kind of be a bummer. But it's not like something I'm playing actively.
Yeah.
I just like knowing it's there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. And like I recently had my Xbox 360 hard drive just died. Well, I've got like the Turtles in Time game and like the Turtles arcade game, and I'm unsure if I can even get those back because of licensing issues. I'm hoping my purchase history will work. So, it's always a bummer to see the stuff go, but out with the old, in with the new, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't the Wii come out in like
something
2006?
Yeah.
So it's like that the new standard 13 years after the console releases?
Heck, who knows? Who knows? I mean, if you think about the original Xbox when they finally took that off, there was a reason for that. It was messing with the infrastructure of the 360, your friends list size and everything like that. But I don't feel like I don't know. I just wonder how much it's costing them to leave it up, versus taking it down. But I mean, who knows?
Yeah, like if there's nobody using it, and it's just being a negative, they're just losing money. It makes sense even from like a business standpoint to eliminate the services and systems that people are no longer utilizing and are just costing you money. Because if it's not going to make the company money, then you cut it loose. And so it makes sense that I'm actually surprised that it wasn't shut down sooner. In fact, up until I read this, I had completely forgot about the Wii Shop, even. So
yeah, I was kind of surprised they didn't take it down when they took the online play away. I kind of figured those two would go hand in hand. So at least they've kept it around this long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Moving on, FIFA 18 Switch Edition doesn't let you actually play with your friends. So you can play with random people, but you can't actually play with people on your friends list. EA's been kind of a bit on the scummy side with some of the Switch games. Like there was no demo for FIFA 18. There was no eShop trailer. Even the release itself was super limited as well. And I really kind of hope that EA's not purposely doing this to try and say, well, see, nobody wants to buy EA games, and then we, they then end up dropping support for the Switch, like what happened with a bunch of companies on the Wii U. So it's kind of a scummy move on their part. Josh, what do you think?
I mean, look, EA, I did my part. I bought the game. Now give me Mass Effect and give me Star Wars Battlefront on the Switch, please. That's all I want. Yeah. And maybe even figure out a way to do Titanfall. I mean, come on, let's go.
Oh, that'd be cool. Heck, we're getting Doom, Wolfenstein, LA Noire, Skyrim.
Oh yeah, Bethesda's great. They're like, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So I don't know what EA's doing. I don't understand. I mean, FIFA is, I believe, their top selling game year after year. So, putting that on the Switch kind of makes sense to test it, but it's also not like, I don't know that, and I have no idea, I have no numbers or anything like that, but I mean, I don't know that that FIFA is a great game for the Switch's like main demographic or whatever, Yeah. It just seems like an odd. It just seems a little bit odd that's the game they chose to go with. But I mean, hey, they were there from the get-go, right? Like from the very first announcement of the Switch in January, FIFA was there.
That's true.
And so, at least they're showing some support. But it is weird that it doesn't seem like even walking into. I think when I walked into Best Buy yesterday to buy the game, I don't even know, like they had a FIFA like poster up, but I don't even know that it had the Switch case on it, just the Xbox and the PS4. and so I don't know. It's just
people aren't going to know that it actually is available.
Yeah, just kind of some odd choices. Hey, I will give them this. At least they released the physical copy with the digital, because I'm kind of getting tired of that whole thing going down, like the NBA 2K coming out digitally, but not like, I'm all about the physical copy. I just want that artifact, you know? And so at least they did that right. But yeah, who knows? They do have some great games, and it would be nice to see them supporting the Switch. Because I mean, I'm not a soccer guy really at all. But I would play the heck out of Madden. I would buy this year's Madden on the Switch before I bought it on anything else, just so I could have it on the go.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't see NHL 18 come out on the Switch, because I'm all about hockey.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, they could have done all three of them and really
easily
just hit a little vaster audience. But who knows?
I don't know too much about FIFA, but I do know a lot about NBA 2K, and I can at least give them the defense that I don't think NBA 2K, or if FIFA's like it, would be very good on the Switch, because you need to be tethered to online. Like, you need to be online to earn VC, which is what you do for everything in every game mode. Like, in my career, you use VC to like level up, or in my team, you need VC to open packs to get more players. Like, and you can't earn VC offline. It doesn't
queue up.
So
wow.
No, you need to be connected to the internet to earn virtual currency.
That's really crappy.
And another thing is, basketball games take like 20 minutes. That's not I'm on the train, let me play a quick game of 2K. Like, I don't think it's a very good game on the go anyway. And like the whole point of the game is it's kind of like this RPG where you make your player and you go and you play on park with, or you play online, or you build your team in my team. Like it's an online centric game. I could completely see. I would have completely understood if they decided not to release it on the Switch at all. But if they're going to release it, they could have at least not half-assed it. But
Yeah.
whatever. What do I know?
I literally just opened the game, and it's nothing but just pure white on the inside with a little like flyer for the ultimate team. Like it just looks like this is just an afterthought for them. Like there's nothing.
Honestly, I think it probably is. I think it probably was an afterthought.
Yeah, it's really a strange thing. And I wonder about is there many EA games on the DS, on the 3DS? Nothing really comes to my mind off the top of my head. And so I feel like they've not really had anything with Nintendo for kind of a while. Other than Mass Effect on the Wii U, which I know that didn't do well.
Yeah, one random Mass Effect 3. Maybe it's my browser, but if you go to EA's website, you go to Games Library and EA Nintendo 3DS video games, it's blank. It's a blank list.
Yeah, maybe after the DS and games like, what was that, Spore? Was that what it was called? Maybe they just couldn't recover from that stuff. Maybe it's just never, I don't know. It's a very strange. A publisher that's that big seems to have just doubled down on Xbox and PlayStation and kind of just forgot about Nintendo. Another
thing that I know from another moderator, Riss or Delicious Cheese, he was a while ago. He was talking about how FIFA sells extremely well in Europe and Nintendo consoles don't. So I mean, earlier you said you didn't think it lined up. I'm pretty sure it doesn't line up with the audience. I mean, the Switch is mostly geared toward Japanese and I guess kind of American lifestyles. Maybe not so much for Europeans, which FIFA sells best in anyway. But I don't know why you can't play with your friends. I don't know what that is. That's a mess right there. I have no idea what that is. No idea. What could that possibly be?
Maybe it will actually be a console mover in Europe because of it being a portable FIFA. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
But FIFA's not the kind of game, you're going to sit there and play a game for 20 minutes. It's not, I'm going to play FIFA. Let me play a really quick game of FIFA right now. No, it doesn't work that way.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. I just wonder if, the funniest thing I saw, somebody, I can't remember if it was on Reddit or where it was, but they were like, why should I get this game? And that first answer was soccer on the toilet, duh.
If you haven't played your Switch in the bathroom, you're just lying.
Oh, I set it up and used the Joy-Cons off the screen. I mean, come on, let's go.
Oh yeah, my kid's like,
I'm just kidding.
Where's Dad? Switch is missing. Oh, he's in the bathroom.
Your wife's like, are you using the bathroom or getting away from us? Don't worry about it.
You know what you're doing in there. So I just pulled up a wiki list of Nintendo 3DS games, and I did a search just based on EA, and 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 5 EA titles. We've got FIFA 14, 15, 12, 13, and Madden, and pretty much released in 2011, 2012, and 2013. So that's it for EA, for EA Sports or EA titles. It looks like.
And you know what game they were the last publisher for? Was Time Splitters. And if Nintendo could get that game as an exclusive, I would be so happy, because that's the closest we've ever been to like a really good Perfect Dark or GoldenEye sequel was Time Splitters 2 and 3
with the monkeys.
Oh, the monkeys, yes, the banana gun.
Yeah, that would be nice to see is a return to Time Splitters on the Switch. That'd be all right.
Yeah.
Wait, one more thing. You guys were talking earlier. You said something about NBA 2K didn't have a physical release. Are you real right now? How have I never heard that?
Yeah, it's not out on the Switch until October 17th or something like that.
Did we get a reason?
I have no idea. I don't.
Is this real life right now?
I think it's one of the first games that has to do with the split between using the cart and the the memory in the Switch as well, the storage in the Switch as well. So that may have something to do with it, but I haven't done a ton of research, so I don't know.
That makes sense. That would make sense. Doom, I think Doom's the second title to have to do that. Well, moving on. Yesterday, was a big release for Nintendo. They've released the SNES Classic to much fanfare. And were you guys able to get one?
No. I don't got money to be throwing out and stuff like that. Hello? I just don't. And I don't want to wait in line. Where do they do that at? You guys are talking. Were earlier. You guys were in the Slack chat. Like, you guys in line? You guys can't be serious with that stuff.
To go get my hands on a physical on one on launch day. What about you, Josh? Did you end up getting one?
I got 2.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I'm not scalping one. I think I'm going to give one away, actually.
Yes, I saw that on Twitter. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I had one pre-ordered from Best Buy. I got lucky. Somebody in my Discord was like, hey, pre-orders are up at Best Buy. I literally had set my phone down, closed my eyes, and then the screen lit up my room, so I looked at it and then pre-ordered, and I was like, oh, sweet, it worked, you know.
Right on.
But then I went out and I hit the first retailer I hit opened at 7. I got there about 7:30, and she's like, I just sold it. It was the last one, and they only had 12.
Ouch.
And she was like, and I'm super bummed because I didn't get to buy one, you know, because being an employee, she's not allowed to, I guess. And so I went across the street. Right, yeah. I went across the street to Target. No line. Hardly anybody there. Said, hey, do you guys have one? They're like, oh, we have about 18 left. We had 40 altogether. I was like, wow. What? And so I bought one there, and then I ended up calling that lady over at the other store in the electronics department and said, hey, send a family member over to get one for you because you've got a small window here. So hopefully that worked out for her. But yeah, so I've been recording a ton of videos and playing the thing. It's pretty awesome, man.
Nice. Yeah, I ended up scoring 2 on launch day, so 2 yesterday, and then I got my Best Buy pre-order, which is coming in, and then a buddy of mine is sending me one from Australia, because I like the Super Famicom style. That's the one that I want. So, but,
it's cool looking. I love the extra colors.
Yes. Yeah, I was at Toys R Us about 4:30 yesterday, and there was 5 people in line ahead of me. They were all there at about midnight. And,
wow.
Yeah, Toys R Us, they ended up having, I think, about 70 or 80 units.
Awesome.
So I ended up getting number 4. Got the 4th unit. And then after that, I walked, or just kind of drove across, just up the street and went to Best Buy. And the line wasn't too long, but they opened at 10. And so it was just after 9. And I knew that GameStop had opened at 9. And when I called them the day before, the guy was like, oh yeah, we got a ton of them. We shouldn't have any problems. You should be able to just come in and get one. So I go down to GameStop, and the line kind of snaked through the store. I got almost to the counter when there was like, yeah, we just sold the last one. And everybody was really ticked off because they didn't say anything. So we've had people waiting in line forever. You know, they could have said, it's like, well, we've got 10 units left. You know, the next 10 people, otherwise, you know, see ya. So that was kind of really crappy. But a fight actually almost broke out in the GameStop.
What?
Yeah. Believe it or not, yeah, a fight almost broke out in the GameStop. So there was a guy who was maybe 4 or 5 people ahead of me, waiting, and then all of a sudden somebody else came in and got in line with them. And the guy that was, then there was the guy that was, I think, 2 in front of me, started yelling at the person that just walked in, saying that they weren't in line, they need to go to the back of the line. And the guy who had just showed up was like, well, I've been waiting here with so and so. And so then the 2 of them start yelling back and forth at each other the guy who was ticked off is like, I can completely understand. Like, if you were not, it's one thing if you were waiting in line and then say had to step out, go to the washroom or an emergency or something like that, and come back. That's fine if you've been waiting there forever. But if you at no point were ever in line and then you suddenly show up and go stand with your friend, nah. You get to go to the back of the line with the line with the rest of us.
with the rest of the peasants.
Exactly, yeah. So the fight almost broke out, and then they sold the last couple units, and there was a lady in front of me who I was talking to and kind of giving her a couple ideas of where else to look, because she was looking for them, and I didn't say that I already had one. And so the two of us, we take off like in our own vehicles, like we go off to Best Buy, and the line is now going around the building, and I'm thinking I should have just stayed in line. So I'm kind of following the end of the line, hoping I might get lucky. And just as I come back around the corner, she's got one of the Best Buy people with her. She's like, here he is. Gives me the last reserve copy. So I got
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I got the last one. And I've already sold all my extras. I ended up selling them to friends. I'm not scalping them either. So.
Yeah, that's cool. So
yeah. Have you tried Star Fox 2?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I did, actually. When I fired it up, I went over to Star Fox 2 and saw it had a little, like, it wouldn't unlock. I was like, what? I can't play. And then it says you have to beat the first mission in Star Fox 1. I was like, okay. So, and I had somebody tell me recently, like...
Wait, hold on. Why do you have to play the first mission in Star Fox 1?
To unlock Star Fox 2, of course.
No, but why, though? You're not answering.
It's Nintendo.
Because they want you to have to unlock something. You gotta earn this, man.
Exactly.
You gotta earn it.
Do you have to unlock any other game?
But see, Star Fox 2 has never been released, so it's I don't know, it's kind of a cute way to make you allow you to play it.
No, it's not. Then make the requirement you have to beat Star Fox 1 if you're gonna do like that.
That would just be mean.
They're both unnecessary. Don't do either.
100% clear for Star Fox to unlock 2.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And within a certain time limit.
Yeah.
Make it next to impossible.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised by Star Fox 2. I was actually more bummed out that game didn't get released, because it just seemed to have so much more polish. Mm-hmm. And the two different, well, at least two. I haven't checked to see if there's a third, but the way you play the game, you can either be in the cockpit or behind, and I'm not sure if there's if they have a third option or not. I only went to 2 just so I could see the.
Yeah, there's only the 2.
Okay, cool. So, and it's totally different. Like, there's almost like strategy to it. Like, you've got to play the map and then play the missions. So, and it was no joke. Like, I think there is a difficulty setting. I think I just played it on normal, but once they released the Kraken, I was like, I'm out. It wiped me out. So.
Yeah, there's 3. There's normal, and I think it's like hard, and then I don't know. You probably have to beat the game on normal or something, and then it's like extreme difficulty. And no.
It was just the thing that I think is the most strange is that it's so complete. I mean, there's box art, there's everything for this thing, and they never put it out on shelves, and I can't. I've seen some articles since some of the programmers and developers. They're like fairly excited that this game is finally seeing the light of day.
Well, I think I want to say it was maybe our Nintendo. Somebody posted a picture of the Star Fox 2 demo station that was actually set up at a store. You could actually go and play a Star Fox 2 demo.
Really?
So it did exist in the wild, in a sense. Like, it was available for people to play, and then who knows why Nintendo stopped. Life's great mysteries.
I can tell you if you really care. I can tell you why they stopped. It's because the Nintendo 64 was coming out, and like, they didn't want to release another game on the console, and the shit's expensive. It's the same reason they didn't release Mother. It had English localization, it had marketing, it had everything. They just didn't release it.
Yeah, Star Fox 2, they didn't want to confuse people with the actual 3D of the 64 and the implied 3D of the Super Nintendo. And so since it was so close to the release date, they just ended up bagging it.
That's kind of disappointing.
And now it's a collector's item, so it worked out for him in the end, I like to think.
And if you have the 8-bit DOE retro receiver and the Super Nintendo controller, be sure to grab the new firmware 1.07, because it fixes a D-pad issue where you could still use the D-pad in the menu, but as soon as you go into a game, the D-pad wouldn't work. So if you do have that, be sure to grab that firmware and flash it so that you can actually use your wireless controllers as well. Found that out this morning. So that made me very happy, because now I don't have to have a really long cord across my living room.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I got to look into those things. They showed me 2 of them at GameStop yesterday, like 2 different wireless controllers, but neither of them looked like controllers I wanted to put in my hand. So I was like, what is this? What? The one looked like a 6-button Sega Genesis controller, and the other one looked like a Joy-Con that was misshapen or something. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, definitely check out the 8-bit Do ones, because I've got the NES ones, and then I've got 2 of the Super NES ones, and they're very solid. They feel almost just like the original thing.
Are the NES ones the one with the 4-button combination?
Yeah, so the ones that I've got have the ABXY and has L and R. And
okay.
I got those because I hacked my NES, and I had Super NES games on there at one point, so I needed those extra buttons. But I've since pulled my Super NES games off there. So, but now I just use them for rapid fire. And use the X and Y as rapid fire for A and B.
I see. That's cool. Was there any games on that system on the SNES Classic that you had never played that you got to try for the first time?
Well, Star Fox 2 aside.
Right.
I never played Castlevania 4. I never played it on the system. I've played the ROM, a couple times. But actually, Street Fighter 2.
Really?
Yeah. Street Fighter 2 is one that I'd never actually played before.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, you played it in the arcade and stuff, right?
No.
Like, never ever played Street Fighter 2?
It's very embarrassing. I have never ever played it. Anytime I go
don't
to
be
the arcade,
embarrassed.
I go to,
I'm more
game.
just like, I see. I'm just like seriously I didn't even. That's like I was such a huge. The Street Fighter 2 was my first SNES game when I got the SNES for Christmas. So I was like, what? How that? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, enjoy it, man. It's a blast.
Yeah. No, I had played more Mortal Kombat on the Super NES.
Oh, funny with the sweat.
Yeah, and the odd-colored blood.
I was kind of with you. I've never played. I had actually never played Castlevania 4. I had never played. Was it Contra 3? Is that what's on there?
Yeah,
Alien Wars. Yeah. I'd never played that, and a lot of those are. I've played a little bit of Super Mario RPG, but never to completion. Mm-hmm. Never played Secret of Mana. Never played Final Fantasy 3. So.
Wait. When you say Final Fantasy 3, you're talking 6, right? You know how long that game is? You know how long those games... I think it just hit me that the SNES Classic isn't like the NES Classic. Like the NES Classic, when I think NES games, as I've said on the podcast, they're pretty unplayable by today's standards. And you could probably only play them for about an hour before you lost interest. So in that regard, it was kind of like an arcade plug-and-play. But the SNES games you're naming are like super long, or at least will take you a couple hours to beat. Even if you know what you're doing.
I
don't know.
In my review of I'm like, there's literally hours of gameplay on this thing if you want to play through all this stuff. Super Metroid, I mean, unless you're a speedrunner, that's not a short game. No. Link to the Past, not a short game. Yeah. Even Super Mario World to fully complete it, that takes some time. So it's really it harkens back to a time when sequels really meant something, as far as like you knew you were going to be getting something much better, at least on a Nintendo system. That was pretty much the case back then. And this thing took the original ideas from all of the NES games, Metroid, Zelda, Mario, even the Contras, Ghouls and Ghosts, that kind of stuff, and just added so much more color and depth and it's no joke. The NES Classic is like, cool, I played it for 15 minutes. I'm glad it's in my collection. The SNES, I'm going to play that I'll play it for a while. I'll move it up and down between my office and the TV downstairs just because there's a ton to do on it.
You know what? I kind of feel the same way, but
how long is Star Fox 2?
I think there's some people that have actually been able to dump the ROM from the SNES Classic. So if you can't get your hands on one, I'm sure Google will probably help you.
We don't condone piracy, by the way.
Yes, we don't condone piracy.
I hope if and when the Virtual Console finally comes out, that they released that game on there so that Switch owners could play it as well.
Yes. Yes, or pretty much anybody that wasn't able to get their hands on an SNES Classic, because it's easier to get your hands on a Switch.
Yeah, much.
It is? I haven't looked yet because I'm not ready.
Yeah. No, there's still
Give me a
like,
month or two.
You know, there might be 2 or 3 in a store, but you shouldn't have any problem picking up a Switch, especially even if you wanted like the ones with the neon Joy-Cons. And there's even some bundles that are starting to come out now too. So
Yeah, Mario Odyssey went up for pre-order on Amazon yesterday.
yep, saw that. Yeah, that's good. So when you are ready to take the plunge, Fro, you'll have no problem getting one.
This is a little bit off topic, but I didn't mention it when you asked what games I was playing. I did play the Mario arcade archive, the Mario Bros.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta say, there's actually a ton more charm in that arcade ROM than the game we would get on like the Atari or the NES. It's actually pretty fun seeing the original, like seeing it in its original state. So I'm really looking forward to the other arcade archive games that are coming out. So I know it's a little off topic, but I wanted to mention it.
So our next topic is a little bit of a controversial one, and we kind of like to avoid controversy and fighting on the podcast here, as much as Fro and I get in about NES games occasionally. But this one has I think this one has resulted in some wars at some point. Can you guys put your toilet
People
paper...
have divorced over this.
This has resulted, yes, in broken marriages and divorce. And when you guys put your toilet paper rolls on, do you put the roll in the front or the back?
Why is this what they chose? I like to imagine they are in a board meeting like, all right, we got to pick these topics. And the new guy was like, oh, I know it's perfect. I got the perfect one for this one, boys.
So if you're not sure what we're talking about,
absurd.
the new Splatfest is on its way out, and it's toilet paper rolls. Do they go to the front or the back?
Real talk, I'm not allowed to put the toilet paper on the roll because I always do it wrong, according to my wife.
Really?
Wow. See, that's my secret. If you don't get married, you can't get tied down, and you can live your life how you want.
The freedom of putting your toilet paper on wrong.
You just leave it sitting on the counter.
That's an American right there. That's the American dream.
No, I did hear somebody say, like, hey, look, if I need an answer to why you put it on going behind, and they're like, oh, it's simple. If I put it forward, which most people would say is the right way, my dog unrolls the entire thing. If I put it the other way, he can't. So, there are reasons for both, I guess.
See, when the patent for the toilet paper roll...
Whoa, wait, are you telling me are you saying that more people put it in the front?
I'm pretty sure
The
most
front
people would
is
say
the
that's the
correct way
correct
to
way.
do it. It's the
Oh
correct
my
way.
God.
It's the front. Even the patent itself says it goes to the front.
Man, the patent doesn't... Nah, that doesn't mean anything. The patent means literally nothing. Nah, forget that noise.
See what I mean? This is why we stay away from controversial topics like this.
I just can't imagine putting that in the front. Where do they do that at? Is that just like a
Everywhere.
Canadian thing or like... No, I've been a lot of places. I've been in a lot of bathrooms. Let me tell you, they do
At
not
my
go in the
workplace, they
front.
actually do. There's 2 rolls in the bathroom, and they've got one that goes forward, one that goes backwards. And I think they do that just to
To
keep the
accommodate
peace.
the people that are wrong.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at if you're
Wow.
ever concerned, if you're ever wondering, do a Google search for toilet paper holder patent, and you'll see the correct way to put it on. It goes to the front. So obviously, you know what team I'm on. And it sounds like you guys are on team backwards. You guys are on team wrong.
Don't call it backwards.
So you got
It's the right way to do it. It's
guys
the
are
only way to
team
live life.
I choose no team in this. I just grab it and put it on. Whichever way it falls, it falls. That's maybe it's laziness, maybe it's lack of caring.
It looks so stupid if you put it in the front. It looks like you put it on wrong.
So Josh,
Come
what you're
on.
saying is you're like Switzerland. You're neutral.
Yes.
So that's the new Splatfest that is on its way out. Is which way, or is this the European Splatfest? But yeah, it's which way is the toilet paper supposed to fall? So yes.
Wait, what's ours? If they get the fun one, what do we get?
I don't know. Let me see.
I don't think we've heard it either way yet, but I'd be down for getting like Transformers again, like Autobots versus Decepticons.
No. In a way, I know you're listening. Don't do that.
So what? So Europe is starts October 7th. Is which ways does the toilet paper fall? And yeah, it doesn't look like we've seen for North America yet. That's the thing I like about Splatoon is these weird competitions. Cake versus pie, ketchup versus mayo, of all things. So.
You were hoping for gravy.
Well, of course, but that's mayo. Isn't mayo an American thing? Don't you guys put mayo on your fries, or is that the Netherlands?
No, who puts mayo on their fries?
I don't know.
What?
I feel like our friend here is super triggered between toilet paper and mayo. We may need to move on.
I just don't understand. I thought I had a grasp on American culture, and now this Canadian's going to tell me whatever.
They should do a fries topic: ketchup or gravy. That would be a good one. So you know what? Actually, in the comment section on this post on Reddit, what would you want to be your Splatfest topics? What are your verses that you would want to see? Chime in.
How about like D-pad versus analog stick?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Sega versus Nintendo.
Well, that's
already been decided. Oh, I don't know if it's. Mario Run got an update.
Oh, that's right.
And Mario is now winking at me when I look at my phone screen.
Ooh, saucy.
And I played it actually, and it's actually a far better mobile game now than it was.
Because I always thought Super Mario Run was actually half decent to begin with.
I did too. It just didn't have the like pick up and play for like real short bursts. And now it has like 7 to 15 second levels, and you can just keep going up until you hit 10.
Yeah.
And then you start again at like World 2-1, and you go all the way through 210 kind of thing. And a remix levels of the original levels.
Nice.
So
that winking icon, that must be an iOS thing, because I've got him on Android and he's not winking at me.
Oh yeah, it's what made me click the button again. Like click the game. I was like, why the heck is Mario winking? Something's going on here. So I was hoping to see him with Cappy on. That's really what I was hoping for.
Maybe closer to Odyssey's launch, we might see that, or maybe just after Odyssey.
It just seemed like a good way to market, but I don't know how many people are still playing this game.
That's true. I kind of went quiet for a while there, but I picked it up. I started playing it again a little bit, and Fire Emblem Heroes as well.
I play that game every day and Pokemon Go just to like do like the daily like capture one Pokemon, hit one Pokestop, and I collect. Or I had almost 500 orbs at one time.
Oh, wow.
in Fire Emblem.
Yo, wait, we talking about Fire Emblem? I'm on that subreddit. What's up?
Yeah, we were just talking
really
about
good?
the Mario Run update, and then kind of went from there. So I've been playing Fire Emblem Heroes. I'm actually enjoying it.
Really? I thought you didn't like Fire Emblem. What happened to that?
I didn't really have an opinion either way. But I'm enjoying it.
And now?
And I'm going to pick it up for Switch too.
Yeah, I bought Awakening on the DS. That was my first experience with Fire Emblem. Really tried to get into it and understand it. Finally had to like start over because I like had walked away from too long and forgot what I was doing and didn't know what I was supposed to do. And then I was actually stuck. I couldn't get through a certain area and started over. Made sure I read everything instead of like just skipping over it, trying to be an ADD or whatever. And but when it came out on iOS, I was like, oh, this is cool. I play it every day. I mean, I don't necessarily play the game. I just collect the orbs every day. Yeah. But I do spend a little bit of time. I have like 4 characters that are slowly working their way up, through the story or whatever. But it's nice that it's there, because if I just need to like, I rarely play anything on the phone, but it's definitely a decent mobile game for sure.
Actually, I think it's above average in the genre. But beside that, who's ready for Animal Crossing? Because like I'm trying to get that sub. I want to mod that sub, but I need to know the name of the game first.
Yeah,
That's called Amiibo Festival 2. It's just strictly a mobile app.
Could you imagine? It has a Switch companion version too? And you scan in amiibos and stuff? Let's go. Wait, phones have NFC chip readers. We scan amiibos on our phones. Let's go.
I don't see them doing that on the phone. I mean, there's already an N2 Elite, which lets you pirate amiibos through your phone and everything. So I doubt they do that, amiibos through the app on your phone. But
and we don't need Nintendo trying to kill a very beloved brand again with Amiibo Festival 2, because I don't know what they were thinking with that one, but that was almost like the whole like bait and switch, like come on, Animal Crossing's a pretty beloved title for a lot of people, and then they put out that just hot garbage that was not cool.
It's a spin-off. Why you guys take it so personally?
See, I never played it, so I don't know either way. But
consider yourself lucky. It was like a worse version of Mario Party, if that could be possible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you had to use the amiibo. The use of the amiibo was to spin your dice. You would just touch it to the Wii U gamepad and then had to pass it to the next person. And that was basically it. It was literally a board game that you had to pass the gamepad around. And
that sounds like a good idea. That sounds fine to me. That sounds interesting.
If you hate fun, go for it.
A board game where you have to pass the gamepad around? That sounds fine.
On NES games, and yet you find this one fun.
They're not playable. NES games, board games are different. NES games aren't playable. Even the best NES games aren't playable for very long.
This has now gone full circle. I understand why you'd get Layton on your phone. We're good. It all makes sense now.
Oh, no. I can't take that. Now you're judging me. Hold on. I don't appreciate that. Okay, let's look at I know we're getting off topic. Let's look at the best NES games, right? Metroid, not playable. Mario, it can be beat in like 20 minutes. And that's if you're not a speedrunner. If you're a speedrunner, it's like 7. Really? Well, anyway. Legend of Zelda, it's way too cryptic. It's probably I can't even call it's not fun. I'm surprised that caught on. I'm surprised it got a sequel. The sequel was somehow worse than that one. NES games aren't playable. Everybody knows it. Castlevania is not good.
How old are you?
Mega Man's overrated. 23 now.
To me now.
No, hold on. No, you're still judging me. I got plenty of life experience.
I'm not judging
a man of
you.
Culture. Okay?
I know where your level of nostalgia is now. That's all.
Where? I'll take a guess. Where?
It's not your. I'm guessing your first experience with games weren't 8-bit, like just blocks, where you had to use imagination to make the game fun. So
now you gotta pretend the game's fun? Okay, now I see why you like things like. Okay, I understand now. I've got you. My bad.
All right, we're gonna settle this like men. You have a Wii U? Smash?
Oh, Smash, yes.
Yes, I have a Wii U. You don't want to play me in Smash. You don't want that. You don't want that. I guarantee you.
We're going to settle this like men. GoldenEye?
Oh, yes. Slappers only. One hit kill.
Slappers only. Odd Job.
Odd Job.
Oh, God. Odd Job. No, not that.
Well, I think that just about wraps it up for this episode of Hello Nintendo. I'd like to thank Fro for returning back to the show and hanging out with us.
Anytime I'm available,
I'd
man.
like to also thank Josh for taking some time out to be on the podcast.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure, and Fro, I do like you.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You're all right too. Again, tasting games, that's not all right, but you're cool. You're
okay.
cool.
All right.
So, Josh, where can people hook up with you, and where can they see your podcast?
Everywhere online is pretty much N64Josh, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I'm getting my website going, so everything's N64Josh. The Nintendo Powercast, you're gonna find it on iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. And right now we post all of our episodes on my other website called thelootcave.com, and it's just kind of a gaming site that covers a variety of gaming topics and whatnot. So yeah, you can watch the show live on Twitch Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/N64Josh. And you can also check out the past episodes on YouTube or on the podcast players.
Right on. Thanks. So be sure to I'm going to be guest starring on another podcast on October 5th, so this coming Thursday on the Nintendo Pulse podcast, which I think Lloyd, the host of that, saw me on your podcast, Josh, who you caught me on this one, so I'm getting everywhere, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So be sure to tune into the Nintendo Pulse podcast, which is on Twitch, and we'll post a link to that, I think, on Twitter, and that'll be on Reddit as well. So be sure to tune in. I gotta make one quick plug. I recently recorded a song called Another Castle. Yes. And it's basically just a joke, but written from the perspective of Mario not able to get to his princess from Super Mario Brothers 1. And so it's on youtube.com/N64Josh. It's called Another Castle, and it's super goofy. And the Zelda song is in the works, called Dangerous to Go Alone. So, oh, nice. Yes, the Mario one, that was really good. I quite like that one. The music video is awesome. Yeah. Great,
so dramatic.
Yes, it was. So be sure to check us out next time, where we're going to be discussing the other question that's been asked since 2011 is, where's Melee HD? So we'll see you next time on Hello Nintendo.